Time to do some polishing to these copper rings that I made today with, I'm not sure exactly what the stone is. The gentleman at the gem show told me it's either malachite or, oh my word, I just forgot the other word. I'll have to look it up and post it in the description. And this is of the same strand of beads. It had multiple, like these darker, I don't know, like a teal, and then it had these more of these lemon lime ones. I just thought they would look so wonderful with the copper. So now it's time to give them a little buff, a little polish. I got a couple nicks and stuff when I was using the pliers, and I don't want to touch the hammering too much, but I just want to clean up the wrapping at the top, where then I'll attach some handmade ear wires too. So first, I'm going to put my eye protection on and a little mask. I don't really need it for dust and things, but the stuff, believe it or not, when you're using these polishers and whatnot, the stuff flies up and hits you in the face. Even the tiniest little minuscule things will sting. So this is my finest little one. What do I want to use? I have different kinds. I have these little 3M kind of like scrubby brush things. I have these other radial sanders, and then I also have silicone type things. I have all kinds of little goodies. Look at this box. Oh, so fun. And then these are where all the radial ones are, and it tells you all the different degrees of sanding on it. You know what? I think I might use those. I'm already set up to go with them, with the right size insert on here. It doesn't have a lot of stuff that comes up, but this stuff, the thing that'll come back and hit you in the face is the piece, not the jewelry. The stuff comes off and hits you in the face. Not big pieces, just little shreds. I'm sorry, I'm having a time with my mask here. It's like driving me crazy. And my glasses are not staying on my face. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what was the green one I think was yeah. I'm going to start with the green. And I am going to polish up. I have a couple little nicks right here where I was holding it with the pliers. So I just want to buff those out. There's different theories and different ways to polish and buff your final pieces, and I'm trying it all out. I'm trying out what works best for me and for the piece. Sometimes I do like those little scrubby brush things. Sometimes I like the silicone thing. I don't know. We should have all the things. We should have all the options. I'm starting out with stuff on Amazon, and as I progress and get a little more knowledgeable, I know there's a lot more reputable places to get things. And I'm going to start with this for now. I think that's good on that one. I always have it right in this little area because that's where I'm holding it with the pliers. And I can feel the heat generating in the metal. You really feel the heat when you're polishing. Buffing at the end, I should say. Couple little no one ever sees the back, but I just can't stand for the back to be messed up either. A little bit of a perfectionist. If I mess up one little thing, I just throw it away and start all over. But I'm not really throwing away because I recycle all my metals. I'm going to go get a crucible and things to melt the stuff down with. So nothing goes to waste. I'm just going to give these a little buff because I got a couple little things on the end. Not a buff. I always say the wrong thing. I'm polishing out these little, you can really see it on this one. This one frustrated me to no end right in here. I'm going to polish those out. If you can see this. I'm not going to get the stone. I'm just staying down here where the little scratches are. Do not want to get the stone. Kind of like one of those electric toothbrushes. Just hold it in place, let it do its work, let it do its thing. This ring specifically got on my nerves really bad. I think it eventually did okay. I was trying to have a video to show you what I did, how I made them, but that I had so many issues with the beads and the bead holes and the wires, and you know, it's just one of them days. I'm not sure. I am so sorry. Totally had that out of the picture. Just hold it there, let it do the work. I find that the buffing and the polishing takes the most time with making jewelry. But it's a necessary part if you want to send out a nice piece. You know what I mean? Something that's shiny and buffed and polished. There's a little, I don't know if you can, probably can't see it, but there's a little chunk sticking out right there that I want to polish down. Just let it sit on there and let it polish down. Much better. With the other side. Still a little chunk over there. Slight, very, very slight. I could always take a little hand file and get in there a little easier. Feels pretty good. Okay. So that was like the first level. I'll come back. I'm going to run through the blue and then this gray one, and then you finish with the purple one for the final polish, to give these just cleaned up where all the little nicks are. All right, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I ran through the 4 little levels. I don't go through each one because there's several. There's 7. I do 4. Really brought out some of this hammering on this. So cute. Really cleaned up the little loop at the top. I'm gonna have different variations of this with I have 3 remember how I was saying on the strand of stones, it goes from that color all the way down to this, and I'm gonna like stepped colors on there, or maybe just a single color of another one of that to maybe match the rings or something like that. So this is just the first variation. It really, just a little bit of sanding, brought out some more of that hammering, cleaned up the little nicks on the rings. So again, I'll use a variation of these little radials. I will use a variation of these silicone sanding kind of polishing things. I got this at Rio Grande. I got the little set off of Amazon. Now I am going to go into the buffing part, and I'll start with this little brown one. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Something that sounds like Tripoli. I have to find it. And then the red. It's got a specific name to it, and it's escaping me. Everything is escaping me. But it smells like a really old crayon that you've had at the bottom of your toy box for about 30 years. Stinks. Okay, so we're going to start with... Oh, one other thing. Once you get into, after you finish your polishing, you go into buffing, you never want to mix up these two because this still has fine, you can feel it just barely. There's like fine little bit of stuff in there that is still polishing, still bringing out that shine. So you never want to mix up your little buffers. And you want to wash your piece in between the different buffing compounds. So you just want to load this up. I am no expert. I am still learning. Just load it up a little bit. Take it to the areas where I wanted to color it. Now, it's going to leave this, it gets all gross looking. But that would wash right away with some dish soap. It'll go right away. I'm going to avoid where the wire wrapping is because it's like almost impossible to get all that mess out. Being very careful, holding very steady on the earring piece so it doesn't go flying. Need a little more. Going to the next one. Hold it steady, hold it steady. Going very slow. Letting the polishing wheel do the work. Go very slow. Take your time. Don't rush. Let some warmth build up in the the buffing compound. Okay. I'm going to go wash these up and then show you what it looks like after this first round of buffing. All right, so it's polished up a little bit. It's gotten even a little smoother with that next round, and the final round will be to switch out this buffing wheel for this one that I use with the red. As you can tell, because it's kind of pink, kind of orangey pink. Load it up. Take it nice and slow. Let the buffer do the work. You see it blackens it up again. It's just kind of the natural reaction with the copper. A little more. Slow and steady. Go nice and slow. I'm trying to avoid this wrapping because these little fuzzies get into it, and I'm just not going to put up with it. I'm not dealing with that part, okay? I'm not dealing with it. I just have to stay a little less polished. So I can already see the polish coming out on it. But you can start to see it. You can really, it's just This red stuff is amazing. You must have it in your arsenal. Okay, I'm gonna go wash these up and then show you. That's what I have so far. Look at that. Yucky, gross. Watch and be amazed. I thought I'd show you. Don't mind this. I was picking passion flower earlier to dry. I also do herbal crafts. And passion flower is just wonderful for nerves and helping you to sleep and relax and whatever. So the bees love it, and so do humans. It tastes like the leaf itself kind of tastes like spinach, like a real stark, strong spinach. Now, I don't know if this is wise or not, but I do it. I take my little scrub, it's this kind of soft, natural bristle brush, and just, because it has all these little twisty bits in there. So I just very gently, whoa, just very gently, just kind of wiggle it almost. So it gets all the polish, or the buffing compound. How many times am I going to mix those two up? I'm sorry, I keep getting it not in the picture. This nice warm water, Dawn dish soap, gentle scrubbing. So beautiful. Oh my goodness. So when I first started doing jewelry, I knew that this needed to be done, but I didn't know anything about it. So keep researching on the internet, YouTube. I'm definitely not an expert. I am learning. But those are the three theories, schools of thought about the polishing and then into the buffing. Everyone has their preference. That's another thing I'm learning, is that people just have a preference of what they like to use. I like to use all of them depending on what mood I'm in. This is just, oh, it's so cleaned up, and I don't know if I can get that or not, but it's so cute. Okay. This side is the front. So pretty, so shiny, so buffed and clean. And that spring green, come on now. That's beautiful. All right, hold on. So back at my little buffing station, my polishing station, these are radically different than they were when I first started out. They had turned out gorge, okay? Absolutely gorge. These will be on the website later after I take some pictures and whatnot. I mean, and it took a lot of planning. Look at this. I started with, a whole design. I had to measure the beads, and I have to mark it out on a piece of wire and whatnot. So it takes a lot of planning. So this is my buffing station, where I have all my different things all laid out with my protective gear. Is very important. This over here, when I turn around, this is where I actually put the pieces together. I have all my tools. Let me show you. I have all my tools that I consistently use here. And here is all the stuff that I rarely use, but you never know when you're going to need it. I keep my copper handy. I have a selection beads that I'm working with ideas. I have other selections of wire. Oh, and Shane, get out. I forgot to tell you that in a couple days I'm getting a whole slew of chain that I ordered in sterling silver chain to make some necklaces. I have a bunch here, but I have all these other pieces that I have. They stir the imagination. They stir the designs that will be coming shortly. I still have all these gems that I'm still working on that I got at the Inner Gem jewelry show at the DC Expo Center, Dulles Expo Center. Over here is where I do my painting. I have all my paints, all my goodies. Here's all my brushes and solutions and soaps and stuff like that. So Here is my wall where I am steadily adding beads. I need more of the hooks. I need more slat wall hooks. Eventually I'll get them. I have a lot of stuff. I have all my stacks of canvases that I can bust out anytime I want and start painting. So this is the creative room. Over here I have all my tinctures that I'm working on. And over here I have all of my herbs that I have harvested where I make my little teas in the evening. So eventually this is going to be switched out with two different bookcases and whatnot. So I'm excited. This is my domain. This is where I am every single day making something. So I'm glad you joined me for some polishing and buffing and learning along with me.